How do we use table 453A to size our fuses or our OCPD or overcurrent protection devices? Okay, this is on the high voltage side. This is 450.3A. This is on a high voltage side. So if it's in any location, our impedance, if our impedance is less than 6%, we use up here circuit breaker 600%, fuse 300%. Our secondary side, if it's over 100%, over 1,000 volts, 300% for a circuit breaker, 250 for a fuse. If our secondary is less than 1,000 volts, and then we're way over here, 125%, whether breaker or a fuse. Okay, and then the one here at the bottom is not more than 6%. So if our impedance is higher than 6% but less than 10, and then we come across here. Then we have a supervisory position. It says any location. Then we have not more than 6% impedance, and then more than 6% impedance. So again, where is our percentage coming across? Down here is our notes. It's basically saying is if we fall in an area, we just go to the next size up, primary and secondary. Okay, and then we have table 453B. This is for a primary under 1,000 volts. So which one do you use across? Well, you come here for your primary side. It says currents of 9 amps or more, 125%. Currents of less than 9 amps, 167%. This is when you're only using primary protection. Okay, currents less than 2 amps, and then 300%, and then not required. Now if you're doing primary and secondary, currents over 9 amps, use 250. Currents less than 9 amps, 250. Currents less than 2 amps, 250. And then says currents over 9 amps is 125%. Currents less than 9 amps is 167%. Okay, so you always have to look. It's what is your primary, what is your secondary current? That's why some of you got it wrong, because you used 125% instead of 167%. Because in the question, I think it was 6.2 in the homework. I think it was 6.2, so you were supposed to come here. Okay, again, I'll put this, again, your notes, basically your notes are saying, it says where 125% of the current does not correspond to the standard rating of the fuse non-adjustable circuit breaker, a higher rating that does not exceed the next highest up. So if we're at 10, we can go up to 15. If we're at 16, we can go up to 20. You can't go to 25, but I can go to, if I was at 16 amps, I can go to a 20 amp breaker, but I can't go to a 25. So you have to go to the next high up. And that's all from table 246. I'm just trying to get back. Oh, that was on the questions on overcurrent protection device. Okay, again, when you're looking at all of these tables, and I showed us in the other one, this is where we find our formulas, our different voltages, our so again, when we're using this table, is what is your properties, where you're at. Here they're asking for impedance. Always remember, is here they're asking for impedance. Is it in any location, or is it in a supervised location? And then on under 1,000 volts, on over 1,000 volts, they're using impedance, and under 1,000 volts, they're using amperage. Is your current less than 9 amps? Less than 9 amps or more than 9 amps? Or current less than 2 amps? So which one you use to multiply? Primary only protection, primary and secondary. So where do you fall around here? Which percentage you use? Well, it all depends on what your amperage is. Okay. I hope this is helpful. It does have some examples here. And again, here they're saying in the question, hold on, I'm trying to read here. So we got a 4160 on the primary, 120 kVA transformer. Okay, here they're using the wrong table. So here they're using B. It should be A. So it was a typo, it was an error. So this one would be wrong because our primary voltage is 4160 at 121K. So we're going to find, so they're dividing it so it comes out to 28.8 because it didn't show the impedance. We can't use the impedance. Okay, this is maximum current protection for transformers, 1000 volts or less. So this one is wrong. Okay, so here this one is wrong. That's I'm sorry. The problem with not being in the classroom is I can't explain that. But this answer is wrong because our primary voltage is 4160, and this is for 1000 volts and less. Okay, this example here, transformer voltage 600 less, it should be 1000 less current, less than 9 amps. Oh, that's what it is. They got these tables crossed on these examples. So this one here is for the primary side. There is no 160 supervised location if no individual secondary overcome protection is provided. So, and then supervisory location, any, they're using a fuse. So we would use a 250%. This is for the primary side. This is for the primary side. Okay, this table goes with the other part where it says the current is less than 9 amps. So they got the tables crossed between the two answers. So for this part here, it would be the other table, and for the other one, it would be this table. So that's what happened with these, is they got the tables across. Okay, so number 8, for table number 8, for problem 10.8, the table that you should be using is A, which is this one here. So this is the answer here. So you would use 250%. For number 9, here is you would use this one up here. So here it's 8.3. So we would use 167%. So this table here is for this answer, and the table on the next page is for this answer. So for this answer here, we would get that 28.8 and multiply it by 250%. Where they're using a fuse, any location, then we just use the 250%. Don't have to worry about impedance because we don't have any impedance. Remember, any location. Just come across, because we don't have an impedance on this question. There is no impedance, so we just used, it's a supervisory location. It says supervisory at wherever it is in the question. It says no overcurrent protection on the secondary side in a supervised location. We come over here. They just got the tables crossed. So here's a supervised location. We go to any. They are using a fuse. So our multiplier would be 250%. So we would multiply the 250% by the 28, just like they did here. They got here, so they multiplied to 28.8. It came out to 72. So our fuse or breaker would be an 80 amp. This is the amperage, and then the overcurrent protection would be, next size up is 90. Well, it wouldn't be a 90. Next one up would be a 80. So this would be an 80 amp. As I'm making my corrections. Okay, so that's that answer. For this one here, we'd use up here. So to get that 8.3 times 167%. And that answer is right here, 13.9. Could be 13.9 amps. So this would be a 15 amp OCPD. Okay, I hope this is helpful. So you're taking your test and everything. Again, if y'all like me with these YouTubes, I'll do that, and then I'll just put more on. That way you can just watch what I got. Again, if you got the thing from Remind, I might go back and forth between Remind and email, so how we do these things. But if you'd like me doing these YouTubes, let me know. Send me an email saying yes, and explain more things. And if you have a question, ask me, and I'll answer it. I'll answer them. Thank you.